Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
It should, the questions, you can read them.
So we're clear for the record. The ADA assistance is necessary for Mr. Knutson's hearing loss. This would be a real-time translation of the questions asked of Mr. Knutson so that he can read them and then respond verbally. Ms. Sorgen, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you please state your name for the record?
Gordon Knutson.
Push the microphone down. There you go. Just name it at his chin. Thank you. Turn it back on. Hold it down. Is it on? Okay, it's good.
Again.
Say that for me one more time.
Gordon Knutson.
Gordon, you're Anita's dad, is that right?
That's right.
How old are you, Gordon?
90.
And you have some hearing loss, is that correct?
Yeah, very much so.
I'm going to speak slowly so that we can follow along for questions, okay?
Okay.
We heard from testimony from your wife earlier that Anita was a college student. Is that right?
That's right.
Where did she go to school?
Wayne State College, I guess.
And where did she live while she was going to college?
I don't know the address. It's up in North Hill. I was found it
North Hill.
again.
What city?
Minor.
And what county is Minot in?
I know it, but I can't think of it right now.
Does Ward County sound familiar?
That's right.
Had you ever been to Anita's apartment?
Yes.
How many times had you been to Anita's apartment while she lived there?
I believe 4 times.
And what did you do when you went to that apartment?
Well, a couple times just to pick her up, but one time I fixed the in the bathroom, the fan was making a lot of noise, and well, actually, it wasn't even hardly running very good.
Did you ever fix anything else in Anita's house, or Anita's apartment?
No,
Did you ever do any installation of anything in Anita's apartment?
no.
Gordon, how's your memory?
It's like my hearing, very poor.
Okay. Gordon, do you know what school year, what year it was that Anita lived in that apartment?
Uh, 2007.
Who did Anita live with?
Nichole.
Did you ever meet Nichole?
Yeah, when we rented the apartment.
Gordon, I'm going to draw your attention to June of 2007. You were living where at that time?
I didn't get all that. In Butte, North Dakota.
Did you ever have occasion to go to Minot?
Did I ever have occasion to go to Minot? Sure.
You did, okay. What would you go to Minot for?
Well, we do shopping or whatever. I go there quite often.
You would go there quite often. Did you see Anita when you would go to Minot?
Yeah, but I usually went to where she was working.
Not to the apartment?
Right.
Did Anita have a vehicle?
Yes, she did.
What kind of vehicle did she have?
It was a white panel. I forgot the name of the brand.
That's okay. Was it a sedan, a truck, a SUV, a van?
Well, it was the one that had the side doors slipped open instead of opened in, you know.
But you recognized her car, is that right?
Yeah.
Gordon, do you remember a time when Sharon asked you to check on Anita because she had not heard from her for a few days?
Yes. That was the first thing I did when I went that day.
And do you remember what day that was?
That was the 4th of June.
In what year?
2007.
And you said that was the first thing that you did when you got there, is that right?
I don't.
Let me ask a better question. June 4th, 2007, you came to Minot, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And Sharon asked you to check on Anita.
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
What did you do when Sharon asked you to check on her?
I said, that's the first thing I'm going to do, is go there.
About what time did you go there?
Well, I think we left right after I had breakfast, and then it takes about an hour to get there, so about when I got up there.
Okay. And do you know approximately what time of day that would have been?
Around 10 o'clock,
About 10 a.m.?
yeah.
Okay. And how did you check on Anita?
I just went up and knocked on the door, and in fact, several times, there was no answer. I tried to see if if I could get in, and it was locked.
Then what did you do?
And I had noticed that her car was there, but I didn't, at that time, didn't think too much about it because she a lot of times went with a friend.
Okay. So what did you do next?
Well, I went back to town, because this is in North Hill where she lived, and we all three of us got what we needed. Then I started home, and Sharon called me and said she still couldn't get a hold of Anita.
Okay, I'm going to back you up a little bit, Gordon. You said all three of us. You had other people with you?
I had two friends with me.
Okay. And so then you received another call from Sharon. So then what did you do?
I turned around and went back up to where she lived.
And about what time was that?
I would say it was around noon, I believe. I'm not sure of that. But
And what did you do when you got back to the apartment?
I went straight to the manager's office and told him we couldn't get a hold of Anita, and that I would like to see what's going on if she would let me in.
Did you have a key to Anita's apartment?
Did I have a key?
Correct. Did you have a key?
No, I didn't have a key.
Why did you go to find the manager?
To get into the apartment.
Once you found the manager, what did you do?
She said that she could get into trouble if she did that. And I said, you can get into trouble if you don't do it too.
So then what happened?
She got up and got the keys, and about that time, the maintenance man was there also, and he stated that he had found a screen from a window of one of the apartments, and he thought it was from her apartment.
So then what did you do?
So one of my friends, myself, and the maintenance man and the lady that was the manager walked up there. Only thing is, we walked not to the door, but where the window was.
What did you see when you were at the window?
Pardon me?
What did you see when you were at the window?
I seen Anita.
Where was Anita?
She was just laying in bed just inside the window.
How was she laying?
Like face down.
What did you do when you saw her laying face down?
I told her to get the door open,
You told who to get the door
and she
open?
was already going that direction, and she did open the door.
And who was it that opened the door?
The manager.
Once she opened the door, what did you do?
I just went in, and the door was open to the bedroom, and I walked in, and I checked her, put my hand on her leg, and she was cold.
And then what happened?
I told her that the landlady to call the police, please, but I noticed she already was, and so that was.
And did you stay around until the police came?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Did you give a statement to the police?
Yes, not at first, but then he had told me that he wanted to stay around and identify the body before, when they took her away.
The policeman told you that?
And I did that, but then he kept the same person, same police officer came and got me and wanted to interview me at the office.
Okay.
And so we went there, and by that time, there was somebody else that had taken care of identifying the body.
Thank you, Gordon. I have no more questions.
Mr. Sand, do you have any questions for Mr. Knutson?
I do, Your Honor, and I'm having the same issue with this computer screen, so I really stand up.
Yes, you may stand up.
And I know we've had mic issues, is that any better?
I talked to her.
Can you hear me all right? Great. Gordon, I'm sorry for your loss.
I can't hear.
Can you read it right there?
I just have a few questions for you. You talked with the state's attorney about going to Anita's apartment that day. Do you recall the main incident?
His name, no, I don't.
Do you recall talking to him that day?
The only thing I know about him after that was in the paper he committed suicide.
Okay. Did he get the screen for you that you were talking about earlier?
Yes,
And he thought that was Anita's screen. Did you see where the screen was?
No, I didn't. He said it was about out in the middle of the lawn.
Okay. Did he tell you anything about curtains or a curtain rod from Anita's room?
No.
He didn't tell you that he had thrown the curtains and curtain rod back in her room earlier?
I don't remember that, no.
Gordon, do you remember doing a deposition a couple of years ago with Ms. Sorgan and Mr. Becker from our office?
Right.
Do you recall talking about the maintenance man and what had happened at that deposition? I can rephrase that if that's hard to understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall discussing the maintenance man with Ms. Sorgan and Mr. Becker at the deposition?
Right, I could recall that. And what he was asking me, well, how many feet away the screen was. And I said, well, I really don't know. He said, well, was it 5 feet or 10 feet? I says, no, more like 100.
Do you recall
He
specifically?
didn't ask me any more about that.
Do you recall specifically discussing how it could have been that the maintenance man didn't see Anita's body?
No, I didn't talk about that. I wondered about it because as soon as I got a few feet away, there was a flower bed, and, at the outside at the bottom, so you couldn't get too close without walking in it. But I knew something was definitely wrong.
Okay. If I showed you a page from that deposition, would that help refresh your recollection?
Yeah, I know I made some mistakes on there. Go ahead.
It's okay. I'm not saying it's a mistake. Are your eyes okay for reading this?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Knutson, can I have you just review from here to the bottom of the page?
Oh, that sounds right.
Okay. And so does that refresh your recollection of that conversation a little bit? Does that help you remember that conversation a little bit?
Yeah.
So, if Mr. Beck, do you recall discussing the maintenance man with Mr. Becker?
Is that what the maintenance man's name is?
No,
I
that's the
don't
attorney.
understand that question.
Sorry. I've shown you this page from the deposition.
Yeah.
Does that help you recall this conversation you had with the attorney at the deposition?
Yeah, I guess it does, but I can't figure why he was asking me where I found it, because I didn't find it.
Well, again, I can show this to you again. It's not about the screen. It's about whether or not you thought the maintenance man could see Anita's body. And then you had said, I'll have you look at it one more time, sir, if that's all right. Just from this line, and this is the most important line right here, if that would refresh your recollection.
I don't know what you're getting at, so I just,
Did you tell Mr. Becker unless he was blind, he wouldn't have seen her?
all I wanted to do was get away from him asking me where the way he put it, I'm the one that found it, and I didn't. He's the one that told me where it was.
You're talking about the screen? Is that right? Okay. I'm talking about Anita's body. Unless he was blind, he wouldn't have been able to see it looking in that window. Because it sounds like you saw it right when you looked in, correct?
I don't know what you're getting at. I don't understand what you're getting at.
I understand that with this card system, it's difficult to understand. When you looked in the window, you had testified earlier that you were able to see Anita, correct?
Right.
And when you discussed with Mr. Becker, whether the maintenance man would have been able to see that, I've had you read it a few times.
If we were standing at the same place I did and he was,
Right.
he should be able to see that it was him. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Now, was there anything else in particular you noticed about the scene?
No.
No. Okay. Now, I asked your wife the same question, but I'm sure you want justice for what happened, correct?
Yeah.
And you believe you deserve it, correct? Okay. That's all I got, Mr. Knutson. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ms. Sorgan, do you have any redirect, ma'am?
Very briefly, Your Honor. Gordon, when Mr. Sand just asked you a question about you standing at the window, you said you knew something was definitely wrong. Why did you say that?
Well, when I seen her laying there, I figured she was dead.
What did you see of her when you looked in the window the first time?
I thought she was dead.
Specifically, what part of Anita did you see when you looked in the window?
Objection, Your Honor, would be on the scope of cross here.
No, objection's overruled. You opened it up with what was seen by the maintenance guy or should have been seen by the maintenance guy, so no.
So Gordon, what part of Anita's body did you see?
If this is going on. Mainly her head, because she had a blanket over her.
What color was the blanket?
It was a dark reddish color.
What color was Anita's hair?
She had black hair.
She had black hair and she was with a dark blanket on her bed. Is that right? Do you remember if the lights were on or off when you looked in the window in the bedroom?
They were off.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
Mr. Sand?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
All right, is Mr. Knutson here by subpoena, Ms. Sorgan?
He is, Your Honor.
Is excused?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. I'm going to have you sworn an oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Watch your step, and we'll have you go back over here, ma'am, to the right. Yep, please. Watch the cords. You want to move that podium, too, when you get a chance? Actually, thank you, Mr. Nelson. I was going to volunteer Mr. Young Sand, but that's okay. Well, it's heavy. Okay. Oh, okay. This is going to accident happen here.
Yeah.
Can you bring that closer? Yeah. Can you adjust that so it's aimed at her chin, please? No, just the top part. Yeah, just down. There you go. Okay? Is it on?
I don't know.
There you go.
Now it's on.
Okay. Austin, is yours on? Okay. All right. Ms. Sorgan, you may proceed.
Thank you. Would you please state your name for the record?
Sharon Knutson.
Get a little bit closer to the microphone.
She can. Bring it a little closer to her if you could.
Can't.
Ayla, just
Sharon
slide
Knutson. How's that?
Okay. Let's just try it one more time.
Okay. Sharon Knutson.
Thank you, ma'am. You're the mother of Anita Knutson, is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Are you Anita's birth mother?
No.
What was your relationship with Anita?
We adopted her when she was an infant.
How old was Anita when she first came into your care?
6 months.
Can I interrupt you? What? Well, it's not on.
Oh, it's still not on.
Push it from the green light
The
has to
light
come
comes
on.
on. Just
Right.
push that button there.
It was on, and I moved it, and it went off.
All right.
Okay.
Let's just start from the beginning one more time.
Sounds
please.
good, Judge.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. We've established that you're Anita's mom, right?
Right.
Okay. But you're not her birth mother.
No.
And what is your relationship with Anita?
I was her adoptive mother.
How old was she when she came into your care?
6 months.
Did you have other kids?
Biological kids, and they were all grown.
Okay. Did you have any other adoptive kids?
Yes.
Okay. And how many other adoptive kids did you have?
3.
Did Anita graduate from high school?
Yes.
Where did she graduate from high school at?
Velva, North Dakota.
Okay. And Anita was living with you at that time, is that right?
Yes.
What did Anita do after high school?
She went to college in Minot.
Okay. Which school did she attend?
She went to Minot University
Minot State?
in State.
Did she go right away to school or did she take a gap year?
She went right away
What was Anita studying?
to be a teacher.
Permission to approach, Your Honor.
You may.
Sharon, showing you what's been marked as for identification as State's Exhibit 1. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a picture of Anita.
When was that taken?
When was it taken? Oh, gosh, I don't remember. I
How-
think it was in high school.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate photograph of Anita?
Yes.
How old was she in that picture, approximately?
It's like 17. She was 17 when she graduated high school.
State moves to introduce Exhibit 1.
Mr. Sand.
No objection.
State's Exhibit 1 is received without objection.
Permission to publish.
You may.
This was your daughter? Is that correct,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sharon? Sharon, where did Anita live while she was going to college?
She lived the first year of college. She lived in the dorms.
And did there come a time that changed?
The second year of college, she got an apartment with a share person.
So she shared an apartment with somebody, is that correct?
Right.
Where was that apartment located?
North Hill,
In what city and county?
Minot.
And what county is that? What county is Minot in?
Oh, Minot. I have no clue at this point in time.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. Let's get a few bases on there. Sharon, how old are you?
I'm 80.
Do you sometimes have issues with your memory?
Yes, I do.
All right. Do you recall who Anita lived with while she lived in that apartment?
Nichole
Do you know Nicole's last name?
Rice.
Had you ever met her before?
No, I never met her until after they got the room together.
Okay.
I knew she was Anita's roommate and also in college that first year.
So you had not met Nichole before Anita and Nichole moved into the apartment together?
No.
Had you ever been to the apartment?
Yes.
Okay. How many times did you have occasion to go to the apartment?
Really couldn't say how many, but I would go over with once in a while. Most of the time we would meet at the mall and go shopping. Go
Now,
out
when
to
you say
eat.
we would meet at the mall and go shopping, who do you mean we?
Anita and myself.
And how often would the two of you meet at the mall and go shopping?
When she wasn't working or I wasn't doing my stuff that I did in Butte. I had a business.
Okay. And you were living in Butte at that time, is that right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You said Anita was working sometimes. Where did she work?
She worked 2 jobs.
Where were those at?
One was the Fairfield Hotel, and the other one was at a dress shop in the mall, Vanity.
Do you know what kind of hours Anita was working?
Not really. It's just
Now, you said that you had had occasion to go to the apartment. Can you describe the apartment?
it was a nice little apartment. Nita kept it up.
How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms?
1 bathroom, 2 bedrooms.
Do you know what the relationship was like between Nichole and Anita?
From what I got from Anita, it wasn't good.
And why do you say that?
She was kind of scared of Nichole. At least that's how she came over to me. You know, if Nichole was going to be home, she didn't want me over there.
She didn't want you to come over to the apartment?
Right.
How often did you speak with Anita?
Oh, all the time, it seemed like. Daily almost. We have our cell phones and then,
And did Anita have a cell phone as well?
yes, she did.
And whose name was that cell phone under?
Her dad's name. Gordon's.
Gordon. And is Gordon your husband?
Yes.
Now, you said that things were not good between Anita and Nichole.
No, they didn't run in the same circles from what I gathered from Anita. You know, they had separate friends.
Now, you said that you lived in Butte at that
Right.
time.
Mm-hmm.
How far from Minot is Butte?
It's a good 60 miles.
And you said Anita went to high school in Velva. Is that right?
No, yes,
How far from Minot is Velva?
30 miles.
How long does it take to drive from Minot to Butte?
An hour,
And how about from Minot to Velva?
30 minutes.
Now, you said that you spoke with Anita pretty much almost daily. Is that right?
Yeah,
Do you remember when the last time you spoke with her was?
yes.
When was that?
The Friday before she was found dead.
Do you know what was going on when she called, when you had the phone call with her?
No, that night she was over at a friend's house and she was getting ready to leave to go home, she told me.
Do you know which friend?
Michelle.
That was Friday evening.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any contact with her on Saturday?
I called, but she didn't answer, so I assumed she was working.
Did you hear from her on Sunday?
No, I did not. I called again, and she didn't answer.
So then what did you do when she didn't answer?
We're all busy. We're kind of, I was mowing and stuff. And so I thought, well, Gordon was going to mine it Monday. He can stop and check on her.
Okay.
And he did. I called him and I said, did you check on Anita? And he said, well, he went by her house, her apartment.
Without telling us what Gordon said, okay? You called him and asked him to check on her on Monday,
Right.
Is that right?
Right.
Okay. And do you remember the date of Monday?
At this minute, no.
That's your memory issues,
Right.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the next thing you heard about where your daughter was?
He called one of my neighbors in Butte and had her come and stay with me while he told me on the phone what he found.
And what was that?
He found Anita dead.
What were you thinking in that moment?
It was just kind of just spinning in my head. And my neighbor made sure when I got in my car, I went straight home.
How old was Anita when she died?
18.
Now, you said that you had 2 other adoptive kids.
Mm-hmm.
How old were they at that time?
That time they were in high school. One was a junior, one was senior.
And which one of your children was the senior?
Daniel.
How old was Daniel?
At that time, he was 17,
And your other child, who was the junior?
16.
And that's your other daughter, Anna, is that right?
Right.
When you talked about things not being good between Anita and her roommate, was there anything specific?
She would say things like, I have to do this or that before Nichole gets home. Just not comfortable things. One time I went over with her to the apartment, and she said she had to feed the fish so they wouldn't die, because if they were dead when Nichole came home, she was afraid what Nichole would do.
The girls had their own separate bedrooms, is that correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Did they spend time in each other's rooms? Are you aware
No,
of-
not that I know of, anyway.
Do you know if they had access to one another's rooms?
For a short period of time.
And what put an end to that?
Anita had her dad come over and put a lock on her door.
A lock on her own bedroom door.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, we have to have you answer aloud.
Right.
Now, you indicated that your husband is Gordon, is that right?
Right.
How old is Gordon?
Now he's 90.
Does Gordon have any physical impairments?
He has a bad heart. He's 90 years old. He has the typical ailments of a 90-year-old.
Okay. How's his hearing?
Lousy. He can't.
And how about his memory?
Off and on. It's pretty good, though.
How about his long-term memory?
Long term, he remembers things I forgot.
Now, you indicated previously that Anita had a cell phone, and that was under Gordon's name, correct?
Right.
Okay. Is that how you would contact Anita?
Yes.
How would you talk to her? Did you text message, calls?
No, I called verbally.
Okay. And did you ever text with her?
Not that I can remember ever texting with her.
Okay. Not much of a texter?
No.
Okay. Do you recall where your other 2 children were at the time that you were informed that
They were
Anita
at
was dead?
They were at school.
Okay. Now, you said that when you couldn't reach Anita on Saturday or Sunday, you assumed that she was working, right?
I assumed, yes.
Okay. Did you take any steps to verify whether or not she was working?
No, I didn't. Because we just didn't.
Okay. Are you familiar with an individual by the name of Tyler Schmaltz?
Yes.
Okay. Who is Tyler?
He was her friend.
Was there anything special about him?
He had some issues about, he wanted her to be his friend, and she didn't want him as that type of friend, but she still stayed friends with him, you know.
Now, when you say she, you mean Anita?
Anita. Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to be a little more than just friends?
Right.
All right. How did Anita react to that?
I think she just kind of ignored that.
Okay.
I never discussed it with her
Okay.
about him.
Now, did they go to the prom together?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
What was the prom arrangement?
She had friends, other male boyfriends that were in high school with her that took her.
Now, were these boyfriends that she was dating, or were these male friends?
They were just male friends.
Okay. Did Anita have a boyfriend?
She had one in California that she still kept in contact with.
Okay. Now let's clarify that for in California. Was there a point in time that you all lived in California?
Yes.
And when was that?
From the time she was born until we moved to North Dakota,
Okay. What year did you move to North Dakota?
2003.
So 4 years before Anita died.
Right.
Okay. So she would have been about 14, if my math's right. Is that right?
She was 15 when we moved to North Dakota.
Okay. And she had a boyfriend from back in California?
Yeah, they phoned each other. They didn't see each other. They just phoned, kept in contact.
Did you know how she felt about him?
Kind of like a boyfriend, girlfriend in California. But once we moved to North Dakota, she would talk to him once in a while. But that was about it, as far as I knew.
Now, you said that Anita was friendly with Tyler. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of things would they do together?
She was like a tutor for him.
She would help him with schoolwork, things like that?
Schoolwork, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How did Anita's death affect your family?
Really much, a lot. It's like I can't describe how we felt. It was so bad.
Is there anything in particular that impacted the family?
The loss.
Okay. How did your other children take the loss?
Very seriously, a big loss. They're still feeling, and Anna is still feeling it because we lost Daniel.
You lost
suicide.
Daniel committed suicide?
Mm-hmm.
When did Daniel commit suicide?
Oh, gosh. What year was that? Doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but 3 years after Anita died.
3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
When Anita was in school, did she come home very often to Butte?
Not too often. She would come periodically, but with her going to school full time, working 2 jobs, and then I understand she would go to her aunt's house, my husband's sister's house.
Okay. Because where did she live?
She lives in Minot. That's a long drive. In the wintertime, it's not a good drive.
An hour on a normal day, correct?
Right.
All right. And in the wintertime, how long would it usually take?
Last week it took me an hour and a half.
That is a long drive, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have no further questions for Mrs. Knutson, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Sand, do you wish to cross-examine Ms. Knutson?
I do, Your Honor, just briefly. I am unable to see her, so is it all right if I stand?
Absolutely it is.
Thank you.
You
She's
want me
too
to
tall
stand?
for you?
Oh, you can stand. Yeah.
No matter, you're just
The
fine.
chair's too short.
Right. First of all, Mrs. Knutson, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Sorry that you have to sit here today. Do you know how Anita and Nikki knew each other?
College, high school,
High school.
high school and college.
So they met in high school, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Moved in together in college.
Well, yeah.
You're not getting me? Can you hear me now?
Is your
Can you hear-
battery
okay,
back
I can
on?
hold it too.
Well, just make sure it's on, I guess is the key.
Sorry about that. Did you know Nichole very well in high school or in college? Or
No.
They were?
Mm-mm.
Did they go to the same high school?
Yes, they did.
Okay. You said you knew Tyler Schmalz as well?
Yes.
Now, this is a long time ago. This is in June of 2007. Do you recall meeting with the detective Barnard and doing an interview? Right
Yes, I remember it very
a long
well.
time ago. I'm not going to hold you too tight to it here, but I got a couple of questions. If that's
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall Detective Barnard asking you about Nikki at all, about Nichole?
No,
No. Do you remember talking about Nichole to him?
no.
Do you remember any of the conversation?
No, I don't. I know he was rude. He was talking Anita Ant down like she was a street person.
Detective Barnard was.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of things did he say, do you know?
Well, at that point in time, there was a club on Main Street for all the teenagers.
Do you remember the name of it?
No, I
Club
don't.
101 maybe?
I have no idea.
Okay. What did he say about the club?
That she went there and danced. And I didn't get his point other than he was not making her look like a nice girl.
Was he saying it was like a sleazy kind of club?
No.
What was he
But
saying about the club?
it was like he thought she was better than going there.
Gotcha.
You know. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
But she would go and she always went with her girlfriends.
Girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that she went to this club 101?
Yeah, she told me.
And it was like a dance club? Is that
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this conversation with Detective Barnard, do you remember if he talked to you about whether Nikki smoked or drank?
No,
Nikki, I'm sorry.
I don't. Oh, no, she didn't.
She didn't.
Not that I know of. And
Do you remember telling Detective Barnard that she didn't, but Nichole did?
mm-hmm, that I remember.
Do you remember talking about how Nichole was in beauty college and the house stunk and there was hair dye all over the walls from her?
No, I didn't. I don't remember any of that.
So you're saying Anita didn't drink or smoke or anything like that?
No. That I know.
Do you have any idea about the people that she might have met at this Club 101?
No. She didn't go that often because she was too busy with school and her 2 jobs.
And you said that Nikki did not go to prom with Tyler Schmalz?
I don't think she did. I don't know who she went with.
Okay. But he wanted to be her boyfriend, it sounds like, and she wasn't
Right.
feeling that. Okay. Do you know at the time Nikki died if Tyler lived in the same apartment complex that she
And Nikki didn't die. Anita
I'm
did.
sorry, Anita. That'll be the last time I do that. I apologize.
Thank you.
When
That
Anita died, do you know if Tyler was living in that apartment complex?
no, he did not.
He didn't live in that apartment complex.
Not to my knowledge, he didn't. He lived in somewhere else.
And I know this is a long time ago, and it's
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember telling Officer Barnard that Anita was at Tyler's a lot?
No. No, I never said that.
if I showed you a copy of the transcript of your conversation
Mm-hmm.
with Detective Barnard from June of the 5th of 2007, and pointed you to a certain spot, would that maybe bring your memory
I
back?
doubt it.
Can I show it to you?
Sure.
I'll point right where it's at, ma'am. Okay. So do you see where he says, anything else, Ms. Knutson, you want to add? And you say,
Objection, Your Honor. They're reading from this transcript, which is not in evidence.
No, this is not.
Ms. Knutson, just hang on 1 second. Mr. Sand, did you wish to refresh her memory with that?
that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to point her to the place in the page.
Okay.
I won't read it for her if she can read it. I'm sorry.
All right.
No.
Ms. Knutson, if you can just read it, then he can ask you questions about it. But you need to read it to yourself, ma'am.
Okay, I did.
Okay, then. He can ask you questions if he likes. But
I just want to make sure you read the right part. It's
Right.
right here, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not even.
okay, now you need to ask the questions. Take that away.
Mm-hmm.
So in response to the question, anything else, Mrs. Knutson, you want to add?
Objection. He's reading from this transcript, Your Honor.
I'm asking what she responded to.
You're not reading it, just a question?
Yeah.
All right, you can ask your question.
I apologize. After looking at that, do you recall talking to Detective Barnard and telling him she spent a lot of time?
No, never.
Okay.
That I know.
Okay. I know the state had asked you this, Ms. Knutson, but was Anita's death one of the most difficult things your family's ever gone through?
Yes.
I would assume that. And have you guys been hoping for answers since it happened?
Yes.
And hoping for closure and justice?
Right.
And you deserve that.
I would think so.
That's all I have. Thank you, Ms. Knutson.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Serga, do you have any redirect, ma'am?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Sharon, what was your mental state and emotional state like in the days and weeks following Anita's death?
It was a lot of blank. Just going through the motions of living. And I had to call her biological family in California and let them know. And it was a lot. It's still hard.
Do you have a lot of active memory of around that time?
Some, yeah.
Okay. But mostly, what is it for you?
What is it? It's to lose a child, regardless whether she's your biological child, but had her all those years. And she had plans, and we had plans for her. It's not there. It's not going to happen.
Do you have a lot of specific memories of what you and your family did in the days and weeks following Anita's death?
Not all of it.
Who handled most of the arrangements?
Gordon did.
Gordon handled that.
My husband. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were you involved in it?
No, I wasn't there mentally. Mm-mm.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Mr. Sand, anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Is Ms. Knutson here by subpoena?
She is, Your Honor.
Is she excused?
She may be.
Mr. Sand, do you have any objections?
No, sir.
All right. Ms. Knutson, you may come and go as you please, ma'am.
Thank you.